Welcome back to Undisputed. We are live from Miami as the sports world continues to mourn the loss of Kobe Bryant, who was killed in a helicopter crash yesterday, along with his daughter Gigi and 7 others. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said he will always remember Kobe as more than just an athlete. Michael Jordan said that Kobe was, quote, like a little brother to me. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard is joining us this morning. We appreciate you being here, Chris. And I just thought I'd start with you on when you heard the news, your thoughts on what happened.
Well, I was actually in the air myself. I was flying here through Chicago, so I was about to land in Chicago. And I was getting texts before we landed, and somebody texted me, OMG. So I hit them back with a question mark, like, what? And they said, Kobe died. And I'm thinking, this can't be Kobe Bryant, I put in quick. And then they told me, and then the helicopter and all that. And I mean, it was like a punch to the gut. You know, I was just stunned and devastated like everybody. And, you know, I wanted to cry. I didn't, but I really felt like I was going to cry. And, you know, not that we had a great relationship, but we had a good relationship. You know, we'd email here and there occasionally, and we had good interactions when I saw him. But there's so many reasons to be devastated. But for me, I'll say one is that he had made the transition from basketball superstar to life after basketball smoother than anyone I'd ever seen. Yep. And when he was a player, I actually was concerned about his life after basketball because he seemed so focused on basketball and that was his life that I was like, what's he gonna do afterwards? And he went full bore into being a business mogul, a media mogul, a best-selling author, got an Oscar for his short film. And he was just, very few athletes who were great, like superstars at their sport. And honestly, to your credit, you're one. But many, their second act is rarely as good as their first. His looked like it was going to be. As great as he was as a player, it looked like his second act after basketball was going to be as good as his first, or close, which is saying a lot. And so to see that cut short, that really devastated me. And one thing I'll learn from Kobe, like I want to apply this to my life, and I think everyone can, regardless of your field of endeavor. He didn't do anything halfway. Like, he didn't do anything just to get it done, just because I have to, just to be mediocre. He went full bore with everything. When he played basketball, that's all he thought about. And once he was done, now I'm on to this. I'm all about my business. I don't need to be on all the TV shows. You know, he did a little with the scout, the details, and, you know, he coached his daughter, obviously. But he went full bore into being a family man and a business mogul. And he was doing it. And so I want to apply that to my life, full bore in whatever I'm doing. And I think, to me, as great as the basketball legacy is, I think his legacy as far as mental strength on the court and off the court is really what a lot of people are going to remember as well.
Very well said, Chris. I think for me, when I heard it, I teared up. I mean, I found it hard trying to explain that because I was telling my sister, who's at home now watching my dogs, and she's right there in LA, and she didn't know, so I called her. And it feels like a family member passed. And I think, as we were talking off air, Chris, is that we watched him grow up from 17-year-old kid, and we watched him become a champion. We watched him become a husband. We watched him become a father. We watched him grow into one of the all-time great basketball players in NBA history. We watched that. And we saw him transition. 20 years, one organization. I gave it everything I had. The way I trained, the way I focused, the way I practiced, the way I played, the way I studied film. That's it. Now, here I am now. He said it's so hard for him because all he's thinking about was stories. He wanted to tell stories. And he says, that's all I do. And he said, the hardest thing about what I do now is something comes to my mind, I got to get up. Like, it might be 3 o'clock in the morning. It might be 1 o'clock. I can't sit there because of the basketball practice, Skip. You know, basketball, you got to wait till the next day. He said when you're creative and your mind is flowing, you get up and you start writing at that very moment. So you might have just laid down, but something comes to your mind, you pop right up out of bed and you start writing over again. you said something very interesting. You said that of the greats, he had the best, probably one of the best transitions to start of anybody. And I think it's because Mike went away for 2 years, and then he went away from another 3 years, Skip. So we feel we were robbed of 5 years of Michael Jordan we should have saw. Magic Johnson had the situation with the AIDS diagnosis. We felt that we were robbed. We were shortchanged. We didn't feel Kobe shortchanged us. Kobe gave us 20. And think about it, Skip. From the torn labrum to the dislocated shoulder to the ruptured Achilles. We knew, Kobe knew. He said, I just don't want to play basketball anymore. I just don't want to put that kind of time into it anymore. And when you hear all the time, I'm retired to be with my family.
Right.
He meant it.
He did.
He meant it.
And he backed it up.
He backed it up. You see, man, Skip, every time they show that clip of him and his daughter at home in the gym, and she put the move on him that he made so famous, where she shoved him with the shoulder and stepped back and bust him in his eyes with the J. And see him sitting on court side of the game, and he has his arm around her, and he's explaining to her, and she's so enthralled. She doesn't look at him. That's my dad. My dad is talking basketball with me. Not Kobe Bryant. My dad is talking hoop with me. I got the greatest basketball coach in the world. Man, Skip, it breaks my heart every time I think about it. And to know that Vanessa, like my husband, my father, my strength, my rock, my stability, my baby girl, gone. And then 7 others also perished. Another family, a husband, wife, and a daughter, Skip, perished in that crash. Man, it's so sad. It is so sad. I still, and it's true. No other way. We know everything has been confirmed now. But it still doesn't seem real.
No.
Kobe ain't supposed to die. Some people we think don't live forever. We know it's gonna happen. It speaks of it. You gotta leave here. But Kobe's not Kobe. Some people we think they're supposed to live like be 100 and then just go to sleep and don't wake up. Kobe's not supposed to die like this. Not Kobe.
Glad you brought up Magic, because last night it hit me that this was hitting me the hardest anything in sports has since Magic's AIDS announcement in the fall of 1991.
Correct.
And it rocked me. I did not see that coming. And of course, at that moment of that announcement, because we didn't know enough about AIDS yet,
Right.
I thought Magic was a goner.
Right.
Right.
Didn't we all think
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
And for the most part, you
We all
were.
did.
You got that diagnosis, you were
Right.
in a couple of years, you were dead.
Death sentence.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Magic not only survived, but thrived.
Correct.
And yet, the Kobe I watched not just try to beat Michael Jordan at age 18, he tried to be or become Michael Jordan. That guy who came in wagging his tongue like Mike, trying to walk that pigeon-toed gait like Mike, trying to shoot that sort of hanging fadeaway that Mike perfected, and actually began to speak like Mike. I would hear clips and I'd think, was that Jordan talking? And it was Kobe imitating Jordan, the cadence, the pattern,
Yeah.
the sort of the Carolina little dialect in there. And I'd say, what is he doing? Well, he's saying with audacity, I can be better than he is.
Right.
And we could debate all day whether that ever happened, but the point was that once he let go of basketball and embraced a second career, he began to out-Jordan Jordan in his second career. Michael has struggled. I'm the biggest fan on the planet, but he has struggled as the architect of the Charlotte franchise. He's just struggled. They're struggling again this year. It's been a hard road for him in that regard. And everything Kobe chose, second career, so to speak, Midas touch, turned to gold because he made it happen.
Yeah.
He was working at it as hard as he did at his basketball. And all of a sudden, he's a Hollywood mogul. He's got an investment fund and a multimedia production company. And he wins an Academy Award off a poem that he wrote when he retired, Dear Basketball.
Yep.
And they turned it into an animated short.
Correct.
And it won the Academy Award right out of the box. He's got that. And that guy looked so happy to me, and his face sort of relaxed and filled out. He looked like a leading man. He became a movie star to me
Right.
post-career. of that magnitude. Not that he was starring in movies, but he carried himself like a great movie star who could take over any room in the world. And then he became like a global evangelist for basketball, preaching and teaching the greatness of striving to become a great basketball player.
Most people, Skip, don't go to Hollywood at 38, 39 and to become
say, watch this? Like that?
Right.
And watch this happen, either in front or behind the camera.
Sure.
Can't do it. And that's why this is still rocking me. And I know we all have our faith and we try to put it in some perspective and make peace with it. The man upstairs has a plan. Right now, it's hard to see what the plan is. But it rocked me because I told Shannon to start the show. This passing was for me like Michael Jackson is gone at 50. Prince is gone at 57. If I can hark back to Elvis is gone at 42. Kobe's gone at 41. Yet in each of those three cases I just mentioned, there was some self-destruction along the path.
Right.
And this was just straight, inexplicable, unthinkable tragedy. Where you can't fathom what a wife is going through with the sudden, impossible loss of the husband and daughter that were gone in a heartbeat.
Right.
And again, the biggest cliche in life is tomorrow's not promised. It's also the truest cliche in life because we just got slapped between the eyes with that fact. Life is fragile, and you just have to embrace your moments, live it and love it, because if Kobe can go, any of us could go like that.
Right. You know, and look, I think the NBA will handle this the right way. You know, they do great with these things.
I thought they did great yesterday with the 24-second violation.
All of that stuff, MSG with the tribute. I won't be critical of them if they don't do this. In my opinion, I think they should retire number 8 and 24 throughout the league. Like the MLB.